Late Wednesday, the Wisconsin Supreme Court ruled the Evers administration's Safer at Home order invalid. The 4-3 decision by the court allows bars and other businesses in the state to reopen immediately. Governor Evers says the ruling has thrown the state into chaos. Joining us now with his reaction is Jim Payne, the mayor of the city of Superior. And welcome back, Mayor Payne. Appreciate you coming in on what has to be a very hectic day for you.
Yes, it's been stressful and frustrating today.
Governor Evers described the situation in Wisconsin as similar to the Wild West. Is that what you saw immediately in Superior when word started getting out?
There was certainly a lot of confusion when that order came out, and while the actual ruling was not terribly unexpected, the way in which it happened really created quite a bit of confusion and even chaos. We expected a stay to the order when it was released, and I mean, it would have been more convenient to even have it come out during business hours so we could work on understanding it and providing answers a little bit more quickly than we were able to.
Mm-hmm. Now, as we mentioned in the open, this was recorded on Thursday, and you did spend the day kind of, putting heads together, trying to figure out what the plan is going forward locally with Superior and Douglas County. What was worked out? What does the situation look like?
So the Douglas County Health Officer still has a lot of wide latitude. In fact, the Supreme Court did not take away the powers of local health officials to do what Secretary Andrea Palm had done. They only took away her power to do that. So a number of communities across Wisconsin were making similar decisions today. What we're doing in northern Wisconsin is implementing the guidelines of the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation to reopen all businesses safely. And we are going to apply those guidelines to every single business, not just non-essential businesses. If you are going to open in the city of Superior or Douglas County, you must comply with these guidelines.
Mm-hmm. And what do those guidelines look like? Can you give some examples of the types of requirements that businesses will face?
They will have much more stringent hygiene and cleanliness standards. They do have some social distancing requirements built into them. They do not contain specific numbers of people allowed in any one business, but it gives very clear parameters on what every specific business does, whether you are a restaurant or a tavern or Walmart. It's going to say exactly what you need to do. And so some of them are outright requirements, like you cannot allow an employee that's running a fever to come into work. Many more are recommendations, like how many people should be allowed in a given space or how far apart they should be and how you can affect that.
Mm-hmm. Well, everyone knows that Superior has a lot of bars. It's well known for its hospitality. Are bars, restaurants, and other businesses like that, have they been in contact with you today? Are you trying to work through some of these issues with them directly too?
Yeah, ever since the order came out, a number of tavern and restaurant operators have had a number of questions. They've been reaching out directly. Personally, I've been very encouraged that the vast majority of all of these owners have tried to understand the order and ask questions before they rush to open. They really want to respond safely to this order and to protect their employees and customers. So that's why we were working hard to give them clear answers as quickly as possible. I know everybody wanted to know the answers last night, but the fact is we want to make sure that what we're telling them is true and responsible so that they can put in a safe and responsible plan as quickly as possible so that they can get back to business in a way that protects them, protects their employees, protects their customers, and allows them to support their livelihoods.
Mm-hmm. Now, the number of COVID-19 cases in Superior, Douglas County has been smaller than some other parts of the state. In some ways, is it nice as a local official to be able to kind of customize what's going on here on the front lines?
I wouldn't say it's nice to be able to do that. The nice thing about a statewide order, particularly when you are flanked by other states with statewide orders protecting the public from spreading this virus too aggressively, is we don't have as much risk of somebody coming here with the virus. These restrictions were taking place statewide in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Michigan. So it was just when we have a regional approach, we can't control what people are doing in other communities. And so if there's an outbreak in a different county in Wisconsin or in a different place in Minnesota or Michigan, and it comes to Douglas County, it's much harder to control. So, well, yes, it is nice to be able to respond to our specific situation. We can't close the borders. We can't stop people really from coming here. And the virus doesn't respect county borders.
What about testing? Are there opportunities for testing to ramp up in this area so that people can find out a little more fully what the virus is looking like here?
Yeah, testing is the way out of this crisis. Every public health expert agrees on that. And we do have a number of testing, and the number of tests are increasing almost daily. Right now, our public health department is able to pretty much test whoever they want to test, which is very good because it allows them to track the spread of the virus and to contain it. But on the other side, we are also starting to see more antibody testing in the Twin Ports, and that gives public health officials a better picture of how far the virus has gone. We may only have a dozen positive cases right now, but early on, there really wasn't much testing available, so we don't know how far this virus really made it before we got a good picture of it. And antibody testing helps determine that. So testing tells us where we are.
We have about 10 seconds, but any thoughts looking toward the summer if there's an end in sight?
There is an end in sight. We have a lot of great news that we're looking at, and this crisis will end, and we are finally starting to see the metrics that will show us an end to this crisis. We're not there yet, but we are getting there.
All right. Mayor Jim Payne of Superior, thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate it.
Of course, thank you.